This year, 5778, the Farmington Valley Jewish Congregation has chosen to dedicate itself to a year of Torah. As a community, we are honoring our commitment to all of our Torahs by learning about their history and becoming more familiar with Torah through study and conversation. Originally founded in 1961, our congregation has become a central part of Jewish life in the Farmington Valley. FVJC Emek Shalom is open to Jews and interfaith families of all ages, backgrounds, and social situations. We strive to provide a warm and welcoming environment for everyone to learn, study, and participate in holidays and traditions. The fabric of our community has changed over the years and continues to grow and respond to the needs of its members. It remains our continued responsibility to remember the history of our people and to learn all that we can to understand our sacred texts and customs so that we may pass on that wisdom to future generations. As part of the Year of the Torah, we are focusing on learning about two special members of our community who have been part of FVJC for decades: our Holocaust survivor scrolls. These scrolls have been silent witnesses to hundreds of years of history, and we are their voice so that their history will not be forgotten. The story of these Torahs is amazing. A small group from Prague's Jewish community labored under horrible conditions to preserve and label Jewish artifacts, including Torahs, that had been sent to Prague in the hopes that they would be saved from destruction by the Nazis. Only 2 of these people survived the war. Their legacy is a vast catalog of Jewish artifacts from Bohemia and Moravia. Years after the Torahs were labeled and stored, they were rediscovered by the Czech government in a ruined synagogue outside Prague. 1,564 of these scrolls were sold to an art dealer with connections to the Westminster Synagogue in London. The Memorial Scrolls Trust was established at Westminster Synagogue in the early 1960s and remains there to this day. The mission of the Trust was and is to distribute these Torahs to congregations and institutions around the world. Many of the scrolls were too damaged to be used for religious purposes and can only be displayed as memorials. Our scroll 1412 still has its original catalog number of 37,362 from when it was labeled during the Shoah. We at FVJC are honored to have been entrusted with the care and safekeeping of 2 of these very special survivor Torahs. Every Torah contains the 5 books of Moses and is deemed to be given to Moses by God. It is written on an animal skin, formed into a scroll, and inscribed using special ink in a tradition that has been passed down through the ages. Each week, a portion of the Torah is chanted so that we may hear the lessons it has to offer. Our Year of the Torah started with the hiring of a sofer who cleaned and repaired a Torah that we were using on a regular basis. Once his work was finished, we celebrated during Simchat Torah in 2017. We then wanted to know what it would take to restore our Holocaust Torah as it had come to be known. One sofer deemed it not repairable and that it could only be displayed. Not willing to accept that we could no longer use this Torah, Michael Bonchik and Lowell Goldblatt took the initiative, and with our rabbi's approval, to find a sofer who could provide a second opinion. Rabbi Kevin Hale, an expert in Holocaust survivor Torah restoration, was engaged, and thus started the excitement that has defined our Year of the Torah. Scroll 752 from the Klaus Synagogue in Prague has been a member of our community since 1973, when student Rabbi David Sobel requested a usable Torah from the newly formed Memorial Scrolls Trust. Torah 752 is estimated to have been scribed between 1750 and 1775. It contains Ashkenazi, Sephardic, and Kabbalistic lettering, a type of scribing that is no longer used when writing new Torahs. This Torah is from the Klaus Synagogue, which was the largest in Prague. Jews had lived in Bohemia and Moravia for more than 1,000 years, and a rich Jewish culture had developed and was centered in Prague. In 1996, Farmington Valley Jewish Congregation obtained a second Holocaust survivor Torah, number 1412, which is from Moravska Ostrava, one of the youngest Jewish communities in Moravia. This Torah is about 220 years old. Ostrava, which was Czechoslovakia's most important industrial center, had its 6 synagogues burned by the Nazis in 1939. When Torah 1412 arrived at FVJC, a beautiful wood case was designed and fabricated to be reminiscent of older synagogues in Eastern Europe. The Torah is currently resting on it and has a clear cover to protect it. Our hope is to display this Torah more prominently so that everyone can see it and be continuously reminded of the communities that were lost, ensuring that their sacrifice is never forgotten. Rabbi Hale has engaged our children and adults in learning about the history and calligraphy involved in scribing Torah. As a part of this community engagement, we are scribing in Torah 752, and to quote Rabbi Hale, there is a point in the process that the Torah springs back to life. By participating in our Year of the Torah, you are fulfilling the 613th commandment and keeping Torah alive. We, as a community, are keeping our promise to the Memorial Scrolls Trust and to generations to come. Lador Vador.